What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, now a quick caveat to that is I am recording this on October 4th, the Monday before Splinterfest. I'm sorry, this is October 4th, the Tuesday before Splinterfest. And I will probably not be live while I'm at Splinterfest, and then I'll be traveling the week after. So if you watch this for the first time and you're like, dude, he doesn't even go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, well, that's exactly why. I'll be traveling, but hopefully we'll be able to do some live streams, at least for Splinterfest. But the week after, I'll be going home to visit my my family in Chicago. So, you know, we'll see. I'll try to keep up with content during that time, but sometimes it's good to just unplug too, you know? So we'll see how it goes. But if you are new to the channel or new to this series, every week, I give my 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent town hall, and that is the one from this past Monday, October 3rd. And I gotta say that, well, sorry, let me finish what I was trying to say. This is not a recap. This is just the 5 biggest things that caught my attention and I wanted to expand upon. There are other awesome content creators, both written and video, who do great recaps, and I highly recommend you go and check out their content and show them some support. So that being said, this town hall was an interesting one. We've had a lot of crazy alpha and spiciness in the past couple of town halls. Matt has been on quite a bit, just with everything that happened in September, all of the releases, all of the pre-sales. So here we go, where, as I said, I feel like we're going to get into a little bit of a lull period, but maybe not. Maybe this was the only lull part, because obviously Matt wasn't on, and the focus was entirely on Splinterfest, something that affects like 200 to 300 people at most in a game that has, 200,000 daily active players, or like 20,000 real ones, right? So that's where we were at. But there were still some interesting things that I wanted to share with you from that. So let me go ahead and share. Oh, I didn't make it nice and big for you. There we go. All right, so these are my 5 biggest takeaways, and I'll go through them one by one. So the first is actually the biggest thing that I've been thinking about lately, and it was a question somebody brought up saying, what is the jurisdiction of the DAO, right? Because again, and I'm not going to get into it, at least not in this video, there were there were a lot of opinions, let's put it that way, a lot of opinions on how to handle the Rift Watchers refund, and kind of like the technical issues that happened there. And I voted yes to everything. I've already said that. I've given my reason in previous videos, but many people had very valid arguments for voting against or voting for, right? So this kind of caught my attention, where somebody had asked, like, what is the jurisdiction of the DAO, right? Like, if this is something that the team messed up on, shouldn't the team not ask the community to vote on something and the team maybe just go and fix it? And again, I'm not saying that I'm going to backwards apply this to the Rift Watchers issues, but just in the future, I think it's something to be very cognizant of. If the team does mess up something that doesn't involve the DAO, then yes, the team very much should be the one going in and correcting those. What makes things messy when you look at Rift Watchers is the fact that the DAO was involved, right? The team messed something up in terms of allowing, well, there were a couple of technical glitches that they've, admitted. I'm not trying to call out the team unnecessarily here. They've talked about this, right? There are a couple of technical glitches or technical things that could have been done better, such as having a hard cutoff before going into the general sale, and then also having a hard cutoff, and then also the voucher issue, right? So, and again, a lot of people like myself didn't have issues with that. And people are saying, well, if you rushed through it and didn't follow the instructions, then that's on you. And I think it's a valid argument too. Now, I feel bad and I want everybody to have a good experience, which is why I voted yes to everything. And now I'm getting into all the stuff that I didn't want to. So taking it back a step, thinking in the future, okay, Splinterlands, the company, based on how they designed it, messed something up. But the problem was that all this capital went into the DAO, and the DAO cannot just reverse anything based on the team's whims, right? That's the whole point of the decentralization aspect of this, is that as SPS holders and stakers, we get a say in how that, what the DAO does. So I think moving forward, there should be a very clear line, and hopefully the Rift Watchers, whatever happened in Rift Watchers will be corrected and won't happen again in the future. But let's be honest, right? Like, mistakes will happen, and I'm not trying to call anybody out or say anything bad. It's just, that's just how things go. Mistakes will be made and technical errors will be had, and that's just the cost of living life, right? So as we go down this path in the future, the game becomes bigger. Community becomes bigger, community becomes more active, more SPS stakers and holders, more opinions, right, on how things go. I think it's important to figure out what is the DAO's jurisdiction. So if it is SPS related, anything SPS related, it seems like the DAO should be involved. If it's a pre-sale something, like for example, like let's say something similar happens when Rebellion comes out and there's some technical glitches, but that is not sold for SPS, or if it is sold for SPS, it's not involving the DAO. Well, then there should be no DAO vote, right? So, for example, if it's too difficult for people to, if it's too difficult for people to hypothetically think about Rebellion because it's so far off, let's go back to what happened in January with Chaos Legion. If there were any issues that had popped up when when Chaos Legion was for sale, and remember, during the pre-sale, you could pay with SPS at that point in time, right? You could pay with SPS for a 10% discount, so that's kind of what pumped the price of SPS as well. But if anything had gone wrong, I know there wasn't a DAO then, but none of that capital or revenue was going to the DAO, right? All of it was going to the team, so therefore the team could take care of it. But now we get into the sticky situation where, okay, well, does anything and everything involving SPS require the DAO? And again, I don't have a solution for this. I just think that it's worth the teams and the community's time to really think through, it's like you don't want to run into a situation where we have to figure this out after something bad happens, right? You want to kind of have some guidelines and move forward and be like, okay, well, if such and such happens, that's what we'll do. And if such and such happens, that's what we'll do. So all I'm saying is that I think we should start thinking about this a little bit more clearly. And I haven't formed all of my thoughts about it just yet. But again, whoever's comment that was, I appreciate you bringing that up in the chat, because I think it's something important to think about. Where does the DAO stand? The game isn't fully decentralized as of now. And really the DAO, as it stands, like the validators that are coming online are just for SPS. It's not for the entire game yet. It's just for SPS. So putting that out there to you guys, just curious what your thoughts on this are. Maybe you have a good idea on what the DAO should or should not have jurisdiction on. So like I said, I thought it wasn't really a conversation. Aggro kind of addressed it, but then, again, I'm not saying anything about Aggro. Like he just addressed it, and I think as a community, and the team should really think through, okay, well, what are the implications of this? Maybe it shouldn't just be, it shouldn't just be la-di-da, and if something bad happens, we'll figure it out when that goes down. I think it's always good to have kind of a plan of action, or at least a bit of a roadmap ahead of time. So I'll leave that one there for you guys. And yeah. Okay, number 2, land and tower defense SPS airdrops are set for October 18th, according to Aggroed on the town hall. But for some reason, I don't know who's right, but when I was going down through here on the Q&A summary, they are saying that this is going to go live next week on October 11th. So I'm going to stick with the 18th just because that's what Aggie was saying, unless whoever put this write up together got some other interesting information. But with the team coming back from Splinterfest, right after and having it done right after, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen then. But if it does, I'm happy for you land holders and tower defense pack holders. And yes, I do own 2 plots of land and 25 tower defense packs, and I'm looking forward to those juicy drops. Yeah, I know it's going to be amazing. Going to retire. But no, for all the large holders, I do hope they reward you well, and sooner the better, right? Why not? Okay, number 3, player staking. Okay, so this is something that Aggroed said, and I just literally wrote it down word for word. Now, I'm gonna eat my words here, because I've been joking about it a little bit, but I know I did say it. So if somebody took me serious, I apologize, because people have been asking, like, when is player staking happening? And I keep saying never, right? Because the team isn't talking about it anymore. It's not on any of the roadmaps, and it's just, yeah, it's not going to happen, right? Like, and I've given my reasons for that in the past, because I'm just like, SPS isn't really scalable, so it just doesn't seem like whatever. But Aggro did. So somebody asked during the town hall, and I thought Aggro gave an interesting response, and I'll leave it at that, right? Because it's so vague and so open ended that I'm going to stick with my never approach. He said, player staking is going to come after SPS delegation goes live, which is going to be after nodes become operational. Now, I can understand the first point to the second point, right? Okay, you want player staking to be available, but you also want, but you need to have it so that SPS is easily attainable. And so let's say he threw out 10,000, which he also said was just a random number he pulled out of his butt. But let's say you need X amount, right? 10,000, 1,000, whatever it is that you decide in order to earn rewards. Well, if you require that, then just like renting cards, there should be a way that people can delegate you SPS, or more specifically, as he said, maybe you can rent SPS. So I don't know how that's going to work, and that seems so far off. I mean, once the market is available for that, I'm sure it'll all work itself out. But it's like, okay, well, we need SPS delegation first, and we're going to get there. I do think that we will get there at some point, right? But then he said it's going to be after nodes become operational. And while I don't doubt that nodes being operational is important and a high priority, I just don't see how that is related to SPS delegation, right? If they wanted to just implement SPS delegation as like an open market that people would be able to go and like rent out 10,000 SPS for, I don't know, X amount per day, then they should just do that, right? Okay, so again, like I said, I don't know what number 2 and number 3 or number 1 and number 3 have to do with each other, player staking and the node operation, or SPS delegation and the node operation. So, but that is what he laid out. And I wanted to tell you guys kind of word for word what the roadmap is according to Agro. Now, take this all with a grain of salt, nothing against Agro, but you know, he's getting this secondhand from the development team or the product team. So hopefully if Matt comes on, or one of the developers who's actually working on this comes on, they can give a little bit more insight. So, but this is what Aggie said, and I would take his word over anything else right now. So player staking after SPS delegations go live, and that's after node operations go live. And if you're thinking about a time frame for that, they did say that they want nodes to be operational in Q4, which we are currently in. We just entered into Q4. So hopefully over the next about 90 days, we'll get nodes operational. Okay, number 4. This was a really cool thing that I had not realized or hadn't heard yet, but the SPS battle rewards have been smoothed out. Ranked battle rewards. So now SPS rewards are based on a 15-day rolling average instead of the past 24 hours. So this results in every day of the season dropping around the same amount of SPS per win, rather than the second day of the season being the highest payout. And if you remember, bots were just draining the pool so much. At the beginning of the season, it was great. And by the end of the season, it's like, I'm not earning anything. Why am I even playing? So I like that they addressed that. Obviously, it would have been great if they'd done it like 6 months ago, but at least we are here now. And things seem to be smoother. So I don't mind playing any time of the season. All right. And we're going to keep this one hopefully shorter than usual. Number 5, more information that, again, I didn't realize was, okay, so let me put it this way. Why are card cooldowns no longer public, right? Why is that information no longer public? I had heard that there was an exploit, but I didn't realize how the exploit was actually being used. But as they talked about in the town hall, and then as they said here, card cooldowns are hidden until battles are played out. This mainly affects tournaments and brawl battles. So when cooldowns weren't hidden, players could potentially guess what cards were used in tournaments based on the most recent cooldowns. And I think they had bots for that too. So they can go in and like pretty much guess exactly what you had used based on when you submitted your team, which is blind to them, but then kind of matching that up with when the card cooldowns were for, right? So they said no ET on when this will be enhanced until the team can find a better way to prevent the exploit, but currently this affects those who accidentally select cards they've used in tournaments brawls that don't appear to have a cooldown. So these cards with hidden cooldowns can't be listed for red. And that's, I think, where the frustration lies, at least right now, because we are just waiting. I mean, it's made it much more difficult for me to go in and see what cards are available for me to rent out. And so, you know, Splex is great for that. And I'm sure the other renting ones that handle it are good. But yeah, it's been annoying, but I understand why they did it. And hopefully this will make for a better game experience. But aside from that, there's some cool eye candy here. Actually, there's not much, but Splinterfest is this weekend, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. As I said in the live stream, I will say it here for you folks also. I will be at Splinterfest. I'll be flying in Thursday night. I don't know, or Thursday. I don't know what's happening, if there's anything happening Thursday night, but for people who are there on Friday, we are planning to get together. I'm not going to publicly post the details here, but if you're interested, hit me up on Discord or on Instagram or on Twitter, and I'm happy to share the details. It's going to be just like an open invite thing for pretty much the entire community. I think all of the other content creators and myself have just decided like we're just going to have one spot and everybody can go in as like a pre Splinterfest party together, kind of like meet and greet, get to know each other. So if you're looking forward to that or want to come to that, definitely let me know. Obviously, it's in Vegas near the Luxor Hotel. And I will try to continue posting content throughout the weekend if I can. It might be super busy, but if you want to follow me on any other channel, and I'm not trying to get you to follow me on these channels, like I feel so spammy when I say it, but I will be posting, just like travel stuff and obviously my day to day, whatever, on Twitter, which is at Aftersound Music, and on Instagram at Aftersound. So feel free to tag along with me on there. I will try to post or go live on this channel if I can, probably just through my phone, especially if I'm hanging out with Darkest Night or other folks that you guys might know from the community, and maybe try to, I don't know, create some random content here and there. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. I will catch you all in the next one, and I will see you around the game. Take care.